On Osrc News at 7, Ondo State Government reassures residents of better living conditions as more people drum support for Governor Ayedatiwa. Ondo Police Command begins investigation into civil servant's mysterious death. Federal government intensify efforts towards tackling insecurity, names terrorism financiers. And from the foreign scene, Parliament set to announce successor as Leo Varadkar quit as Ireland's Prime Minister. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news. My name is Sahid Aribisala. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa says his administration will not shy away from efforts at making life more abundant for people of the state, especially artisans. Governor Ayedatiwa will receive in audience members of the United Artisan Group in the state approved 200 million naira loan for traders, artisans and small-scale businesses in the state. The governor who appointed president of the group, Mr. Daisy Komolafe, as senior special assistant, urged more of their support for his administration. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole completes the story.
The Cocoa Conference Hall of the Governor's Office in Akure hosted members of the United Artisans Group in Ondo State. The group gathered to meet minds with Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa on how to further advance the state while improving the living standard of members. President of the group, Mr. Daisy Komolafe, applauded the strides of the governor towards advancing the state and improving the welfare of members.
Àwa fúnra la wa la nínú ara wa pé afẹ́rí wọn àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ tó wá kò sèyí sà ìwà ṣe wọ́n ọ̀nà pàápàá bàbá ti kọ́ ti bàbá wa deputy governor wa àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín sà pé ṣíṣú yọ nínú ọgbà wọ́n tọ́ láti fi síbẹ̀. Àwa la lè ìgboro là yí káàkiri gbogbo Ondo State lójú kò síbí gbogbo lóko gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì àti wá. Ìgbà táwa fún ara wa tá a ṣe àyẹ̀wò ara wa níbi ọdún mẹ́rin sẹ́yìn àdúgbò ajẹ́ 372,000 across the 18 local government yàtọ̀ sí àwọn tí ò darapọ̀ mọ́ wa láti gbà yẹn náà báyìí tá a bá ti tún ṣe àwárí báyìí àti lé ní 400 àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ so a fẹ́ sọ fún mi pé sà àwà lẹ́yìn yẹn.
Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, who approved a soft loan of 200 million naira for traders, artisans and small-scale businesses in the state, appreciated their support for his administration. The governor surprised the visitors with the appointment of their president as his senior special assistant on artisans matters.
Ìfẹ́ tí Ọlọ́run lẹ wá ṣe ìgbà tí ọmọrin dáìsí tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ níbẹ̀ àsìkò ní gbogbo nǹkan Ọlọ́run ló dẹ̀ máa ń ṣe fún yàn. Kò sí ipò tí èèyàn lè wà Ọlọ́run ló máa ń ṣe o. Ibi tá a wà lénìí Ọlọ́run ló gbé wa síbẹ̀. A lè dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ṣe fún wa. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. SSC to the governor on artisan matter. Ohun rèé o.
The governor urged more of their support for his administration while promising not to disappoint nor lower the bar of good governance in the state. Aiyedatiwa reassured of his administration's commitment to empowering artisans in the state through the State Microcredit Agency. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Ondo State government has maintained its stance on zero tolerance to gender-based violence. Special advisor to Governor Aiyedatiwa on gender, Olamide Falana, gave the warning when she paid a visit to a violence victim, Augustina Odechukwu, at the police clinic in Akure. Mrs. Odechukwu was rescued by a government official when she was being pursued and injured by her husband, Sunday Odechukwu, along other axes in the state capital. The report.
Lying here on the sickbed is Augustina Odechukwu, a victim of gender violence from her husband, Sunday Odechukwu. The Ebonyi woman, who is a mother of 5 boys, to Sunday said they got married many years ago but has been facing hell for over a year.
They should fight for the justice because I don't have anybody.
While pleading for justice on her husband, who was always threatening to kill her, she revealed that her children were not spared of the act.
My brother would be telling me that I should enjoy it. That it's not possible after I've given 5 boys to him, that it's not possible I should leave my home before this incident. This is not the first time, sef. Sometime midnight he would drive us away. We would go and sleep in somebody's house. The last one that he did at Oluka, back of Nepa market, he beat me that blood is coming out from my body, and I said I know. The one that he did safe, he broke one of my son's head, that the blood is coming out from my son's body, from my son's head and his leg. He said that he will kill the boy. Later, now force the door and enter. The boy have already soaked with blood.
Reacting, Special Advisor to Governor Aiyedatiwa on gender, Olamide Falana, who visited the victim in company of officials of Osrc BV, talked tough, saying Ondo State government will not allow acts of indiscipline or violence on any individual.
Indeed, Ondo State has zero tolerance to gender-based violence, and that is why this case is not going to be allowed to sit, but the man is going to be prosecuted, and the woman is assured of protection by the state government, because Ondo State is a state that actually cares for its own, and this is also a call out to men out there, to men and women out there, that resort to violence is not excusable. There's no reason for anybody using brute force or using resorting to violence on another, and they will not condone such acts of violence on any individual in the state. The state already has a law, that is in place that ensures protection of individuals. We have the VAP law. We also have the Agency Against Gender-Based Violence, which is also there to ensure protection of individuals and prosecution of such cases. So this is a call to individuals to desist from such acts, and for anybody who is a victim, please speak out, be it male or female.
Mrs. Falana also paid a visit to the State Commissioner of Police, Abayomi Oladipo, intimating him on the need to join forces with Ondo State and Osrc BV in fighting gender violence in the state. The commissioner assured her of police support in stemming the acts in the state.
We'll continue to interface and support your advocacy and let people know that it cannot no longer be party as usual. We will tell all the DPOs to collaborate with your people at the grassroots level, so that when they have cases like this, they can quickly respond, because response time is really the key.
Sunday Odechukwu has been detained by the police before being charged to court. Omoriola Hungbeji, Osrc News.
President Bola Tinubu has temporarily banned ministers, heads of agencies and other government officials from embarking on public-funded foreign trips. The ban on foreign trips will last for 3 months in the first instance and will take effect on April 1st, 2024. Tinubu gave the directive in a letter by his Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, addressed to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Judge Akume. Tinubu noted that government officials who intend to go for any public-funded international trip must seek and get presidential approval at least 2 weeks prior to embarking on any such trip, which must be deemed absolutely necessary. According to the circular, this temporary measure is aimed at cost reduction in governance and intended as a cost-saving measure without compromising government functions. The federal government says it has uncovered the identity of 15 entities, including 9 individuals and 6 borrow-to-change operators and firms allegedly involved in terrorism financing. Details of the development were reviewed by the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. The document reviewed that the Nigeria Sanctions Committee met where specific individuals and entities were recommended for sanction following their involvement in terrorism financing. The Senate Joint Committee on Defense, Army, Navy and Air Force has held a closed-door meeting with the service chiefs over the recent killing of 17 officers and troops of the Nigerian Army in Okwama Community, Bomadi local government area of Delta State. It was also gathered that troops on Wednesday intensified the manhunt for the killers of the military men. The 4 military officers and 13 soldiers were said to have gone to Okwama Community on a peacekeeping mission when they were slain by hoodlums last week. The lawmakers meeting with the service chiefs had in attendance the Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, the Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, the Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Hassan, and Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala. The Senate had, during its plenary, mandated the Joint Committee to investigate the killing of the military men. The upper chamber urged the federal government to ensure that those responsible for the heinous crime were identified, apprehended and brought to justice. The Joint Committee is chaired by Senator Ahmed Lawan, who is also chairman of the Senate Committee on Defense. The House of Representatives has called on the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control to stick to its resolution and lift the ban on sachet alcoholic beverages and PET bottles. The Chairman, House Committee on NAFDAC, Mrs. Regina Akume, gave the charge at a news conference in Abuja. The House had asked NAFDAC to lift the ban on the production of alcohol in sachet and PET bottles of less than 200 milliliters. The resolution by the House followed agitation and protests by distillers who said the ban would throw 500,000 workers out of jobs and ruin 800 billion naira investments. Speaking at the news conference, Akume said the ban came at the wrong time, considering the economic situation in the country. A bill seeking 1 and 5 months leave to men and women who lost their spouse have scaled second reading on the floor of the House of Representatives. The bill, sponsored by the member representing Bida Kacha Bakul Federal Constituency in Niger State, Saidu Abdullah, will grant the widows and widowers a period to mourn their spouse and recover from the physiological trauma. Leading the debate on the general principles of the bill, Abdullah lamented the plight of spouses in Nigeria who have lost their partners, adding that the difficulty of single parenting is both deep and complex. The bill is targeted at addressing the pressing issue of supporting individuals who have lost their spouses and helping them navigate the challenging period of widowhood. The lawmaker said the widowhood legislation had been enacted in many countries around the world, noting that widows are entitled to 15 days of paid leave in India and 60 days in the Philippines. Some nurses in the country have sued the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria and the Minister of Health, among others, over the new certificate verification guidelines. The NMCN had issued a circular revising the guidelines for requesting verification of certificates for nurses and midwives. The council stated, among others, that applicants seeking verification of certificates from foreign nursing boards and councils must possess 2 years of post-qualification experience from the date of issuance of the permanent practicing license. But nurses and midwives under the aegis of the National Association of Nigeria Nurses and Midwives expressed concern that the NMCN's revised guidelines for certificate verification were targeted at preventing them from going abroad in search of greener pastures. They are particularly uncomfortable with the provision in the guidelines that a nurse seeking NMCN certification must have a minimum of 2 years post-qualification experience. They are also opposed to the requirement that a nurse applying for NMCN certification must obtain a letter of good standing from the Chief Executive Officer of their place of work and the last training institution attended, while the processing of application shall take a minimum of 6 months. We're due to take a break on the news tonight. We'll be back with more stories. Please stay.
Hard drugs will only make your life hard and make things harder for you. Think of the dangers of drug abuse to your life and future. Stop drug abuse today. Work on improving your life through refined daily routine. Life is good when devoid of drug abuse. This message is brought to you by the Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, OSRC.
Thank you for rejoining us on the news. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel, OSRC TV Ondo. Two more stories now. Ondo State Local Government Service Commission has embarked on substantial efforts at addressing proper planning and budgetary in the commission. To this end, a one-day capacity building for directors of budget, planning, research and statistics was organized by the Commission with the theme Fiscal Reliability at the Local Government Level, Need for Adoption of Fiscal Reforms in Planning and Budgetary Processes in Accra, the Ondo State Capital. Omar Langbaji reports that the Chairman, Civil Service Commission, Femi Idris, declared the event open.
There are some analyses that will be
Managing the budgetary demands, meeting the demands of infrastructure and its associated cost, understanding and addressing barriers for shared service agreements or voluntary merges, among other demands, are major factors calling for adequate attention in running local government services. The one-day capacity building for directors of budget planning, research and statistics at the local government level will go a long way in ensuring efficient service delivery. The theme, Fiscal Reliability at the Local Government Level, Need for Adoption of Fiscal Reforms in Planning and Budgetary Processes, was selected to strengthen the labor workforce of the Commission ahead various challenges occasioned by the socio-economic related issues.
I hereby declare this workshop open to the glory of God.
Declaring the workshop open, Chairman, Local Government Service Commission, Femi Idris, while pointing out the challenges of paucity of funds facing local governments as well as the difficulties of the enthronement of appropriate mechanism for generating government funds for development, posited that the theme of the workshop was carefully chosen to meet the yearnings of the system.
These aforestated challenges make your training of today in planning and budgetary processes in the local government service worthwhile efforts in terms of resources and time expended. We shall continue to give our best and sacrifice our personal comfort for the benefit of the state, of this state.
Permanent Secretary of the Commission, Bayo Ilawole, who said the training is necessary at this time, encouraged participants to see the opportunity as one in a lifetime to equip themselves.
Going by the themes of today's workshop, you will agree with me that this workshop would not have come at a more auspicious time than this, and flowing from our ongoing experiences occasioned by the removals of oil subsidy, cash regime, socio-economic related issues. It is therefore pertinent for us to be better equipped to surmount these various challenges and dynamics despite the fact that we are the local government, we can make our state and our nation better.
Participants expressed appreciation to the management for putting them into consideration.
When you talk about budget, you are talking about funds, you are talking about public funds. So there is a way these funds should be spent. So the essence of this training now is just creating an awareness, or maybe training ourselves, or probably internalizing a knowledge that has to do with sustaining the fiscal prowess of the government.
It is expected that the outcome of the workshop will bring positive impact in the budget planning and research of the local government services. Omoniola Hungbeji, Osrc News.
As part of efforts to boost the commitment of staff for increased productivity, the leadership of Orange 94.5 FM News and Current Affairs Department has presented outstanding members with awards of excellence. The department also recognized guests and analysts who contribute to the broadcast of quality news and current affairs programs of the station. The reports. It is a gathering of the management and staff of Ondo State Media Group for the celebration of journalistic excellence recorded in year 2023 by the News Department of Orange 94.5 FM. Also in attendance is the Chief Press Secretary to Ondo State Governor, Prince Ebenezer Adeneyo. According to the head of News and Current Affairs, Orange 94.5 FM, Bimpe Akindele, the dedication and ethical practice by staff members helped in cementing the station's position as a frontliner in the media landscape.
It's a day to celebrate hard work, resilience and dedication among staff of Orange 94.5 FM. Orange 94.5 FM News Department is a station to beat. When I came on board last year as the head of News and Current Affairs, I thought it best to create a healthy rivalry among staff to further push and encourage them to do more. We started a monthly award for the best staff, and some of them have benefited from that. Today we have 7 awards in different categories, sponsored by some people who have made their mark in this profession, who appreciate our efforts at justifying the reasons for the adequate coverage and dissemination of news.
It was a day for short speeches as awards of excellence were handed to staff members in various categories like Sports Reporter of the Year, Scriptwriter of the Year, Presenter of the Year, Reporter of the Year, Journalist of the Year, and Freelancer of the Year.
I remember the last time I had a very close engagement with the chairman, and he told me so much about what I have to do, as a young media professional. And I took it in, and I was able to carve an image for myself. And I want to thank you, sir, for your leadership qualities. It's really something very dear, and of course, very glad to my heart.
Giving me an opportunity and a push for me to do more, and also to put in all I can. And I'm grateful for the support I have had right from the beginning and up until this moment, and even for those that we've lost along the way.
While the staff award was backed up with cash gifts, appreciative gestures were also extended to guests and analysts who have displayed resourcefulness and consistency on the Orange FM News and Current Affairs platform.
When I was growing up, some of the people I see in Osrc, they used to be people that I adore on screens. Today, some of them are directors. Some of them don't know, but I adore them from afar. And to be in the same studio room with them, being interviewed by them, it's an honor. And I just feel that just me, go to my quota, begin. I appreciate the management of Osrc, the Ondo State Media Group, for recognizing us today.
The chairman, Osrc Media Group, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, while acknowledging the contributions of the newsroom staff and analysts for impacting society positively, assured of management's continuing support.
The hallmark of leadership is to have successful followers. If you do not have successful followers, then it's not worth the salt. Your leadership is not worth the salt. And I also knew, because I know her very well, that this exercise is going to be a developing process.
The highlight of the award ceremony was the official presentation of Nigeria's Best Sports Presenter of the Year award, backed by Olumide Adeluoye, to the Osrc Media Group management. The Ondo State Police Command has commenced the investigation into the death of Mrs. Florence Fumilayo Adelaye. The decomposing body of late Adelaye, a 54-year-old civil servant, was recovered in her residence after her whereabouts were said to be unknown for days. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Fumilayo Odulami Omisoya, confirmed the incident, noting that one suspect has been arrested in connection with the case.
Sunday, at that division, a complainant walked in and complained that she got an information that her sister for the past 5 days had not been seen around. So she went to the house to see things for herself, and she found her corpse on the ground in her bedroom, on the floor rather, in her bedroom. The police got there, evacuated the corpse to the mortuary, and in the course of cleaning the corpse, we saw a mark showing that the deceased was stabbed, and a knife was also found at the scene. Currently, one person is in custody concerning the case. Investigation is still ongoing, but what we just intend to do is get to the root of it before we give the public details. The victim has been deposited at the morgue. We can't say this is exactly what happened or how it happened. So we expect people to still, of course, life goes on. People around there should be more careful but watchful of things around them. Then basically we should learn to look out for each other. Because it was the sister of the deceased that even came to the station that she noticed for the past 5 days. She had not seen her sister around, according to the information she had, that they've not seen her sister around for the past 5 days. 5 days is enough for any of the neighbors around to walk up to the building to ask, hello, is anybody home? That was why I said we should also learn to look out for ourselves. We are neighbors, we are social animals. We are neighbors, we stay in the same on the same street, we stay in the same area. It's not out of place to check on ourselves.
A bill proposing a new structure of salaries and allowances for judicial officers in the country has passed the third reading at the House of Representatives. President Bola Tinubu forwarded a letter along with the executive bill to the House of Representatives on Tuesday, urging swift passage of the proposed legislation. In the letter, the president said the bill seeks to end the prolonged stagnation of the remuneration of judicial officers. The Judicial Office Orders Salaries and Allowances Bill seeks to prescribe salaries and allowances and fringe benefits for judicial officers to end the prolonged stagnation in their remuneration and to reflect contemporary socio-economic realities. In the breakdown of the bill, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, will receive a monthly salary of 5.4 million naira, amounting to 64.8 million naira per annum. The breakdown of the remuneration shows that the CJN will receive a monthly basic salary of 1.1 million naira and 4.3 million naira in regular allowances. Now on the foreign scene, in a surprising move, Leo Varadkar declared his resignation as Ireland's Prime Minister on Wednesday, citing the potential for the country's coalition government to improve its chances of re-election under the new leadership. Varadkar's Fine Gael party is set to commence nomination for a new leader today, with the results expected to be disclosed on April 5. Following the Easter recess on April 9, Parliament will reconvene to vote on the successor to Varadkar as Prime Minister. The departure of Varadkar will make history as Ireland's first openly gay Prime Minister in 2017 and resumed office just 15 months ago does not necessitate a general election. A vote is mandated by March 2025. To end the news tonight, another look at the major stories. Ondo State government has reassured residents of better living condition. This is just as more people continue to drum support for Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. Also informed you that the Ondo State Police Command has begun investigation into civil servant's mysterious death, and that's the death of 54-year-old Fumilayo Florence Adelaye. The federal government has intensified efforts towards tackling insecurity with the naming of terrorism financiers. And from the foreign scene, we informed you that Parliament is set to announce successor to Leo Varadkar, who resigned as Ireland's Prime Minister. And that's the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Good evening.